You want that one? Yeah, you think you could do that one? Yeah, you didn't get a puzzle, sorry. Hi and welcome back to my channel. We are back again with our annual What I Got for My Kids for Christmas video. So if you're keen on finding out what I got my kids who are aged 1, almost 3, 4.5 and 6.5 for Christmas, you've come to the right place. So we kept our Christmases quite simple and minimal by kind of Western standards, I suppose. We stick with the something you want, something you need, something to wear and something to read format, and then have a few little things that are more practical that go in their Santa sacks, so stocking stuffers in other words. So I'm going to take you through each kid, something they want, need, wear, read, and then finally we have a present that the group of them will share. Now we are traveling for Christmas this year. Our whole family, my husband and I and our 4 kids are traveling across to the eastern states to visit his family for Christmas, so I had to keep that in mind when choosing their gifts. We have also tried to stay on a pretty clear budget. I had basically $800 to buy everything for all of the kids. I didn't exactly split that equally. It was more sort of wherever that fell, but I did manage to stick within that, which is quite unusual for me. Our family does not limit incoming toys or things to Christmas and birthdays, as some families do, so they'll tend to not give anything during the year or not buy anything extra during the year and then go all out for Christmases and birthdays. I'm pretty much incapable of waiting until Christmases and birthdays if there's something to add to our collection, and if you've seen my other videos you'll know that toys and play is a huge passion of mine, so with that in mind, not going over the top at Christmas and birthdays is relatively simple. So starting off, I think I will go by age rather than by category, so that if you have a kid of a certain age, you can take a look at just that kid's age and skip the rest, and then I'll come down to the stocking stuffers, which are fairly uniform at the end. So starting off with Violet. She is nearly 7. She is hugely creative, into art and craft, drawing, and she also loves to read. So her something you want this year is the Spirograph. This is the deluxe Spirograph set. Basically, I actually don't know how this thing works, but I've seen it recommended by people that I really respect, and my husband actually had the same idea for the gift, which was unusual. So I think that this is going to really enhance her creativity, and I like the fact that it comes in a kit set so that it can all be stored and hopefully stop people getting into it, but she can also really dive straight in when we're traveling and kind of not have to wait until we get back to open it and use it. So she gets the Spirograph for her something you want. For something you need, this is going to be uniform across the board for the older 3 kids. New underwear is the something you need for Christmas. It has been for a few years, probably will continue to be. I buy the Target Max shorties, they're called for the girls. They're basically the trunk style underwear because they provide more coverage. Something to wear. This is probably the most expensive item out of hers. This is a top from Jamie Kay, who are a New Zealand brand. I buy a lot of our kids' clothes from there. I try to get them on sale, but this was a full price piece. It's just a really gorgeous little top. It's quite short, so it is a size 7. So hopefully the length won't be an issue, but it's got this adorable little frilly collar and sleeves, buttons at the back, lovely quality, just really, really cute. And while I have the privilege of dressing my kids or choosing my kids' clothes, I am gonna lean into that. Hi, Bubba. And for something you read, she's the only one getting a book set. I picked the Ramona books. I don't know if you remember Ramona. Growing up in the 90s, I read the Ramona books, and this is the first 4 in the series. And I think that Violet is really gonna vibe with Ramona. And it won't surprise me if she has read them all by the time we get back from our trip. So that's Violet. Next up is Freddy. Freddy is 4.5. He is into creative play. He likes to play outside. He loves to build things. So here's something you want is the Duplo Bluey house. Now, from a ability standpoint, he can certainly build Lego. However, the reason I chose the Duplo set instead of the Lego one is just because creatively he tends to play his bigger games with the Duplo. The Duplo is upstairs in our playroom. If you saw our playroom tour from a couple of weeks ago, we have a huge basket of it that they all play with. I don't know whether he's going to actually want to build the the Duplo house. If he does, it won't kind of stay that way. But he has some Lego Bluey figurines. They're fun, they're great, but I feel like the Duplo ones are going to provide more open-ended play with the tiles, the train tracks, because they're more on the same scale. So something you want, he's got the Bluey Duplo. And obviously kids love Bluey. We don't watch it a lot because it actually sends my kids hyper, but they still love it. Something you want. For something you need, no surprises there, a 5-pack of the Target Max boys trunks. Something to wear. These are really, really lovely. These are chino style shorts in like a rust red color. They've got a really thick ribbed waistband, and these are from Milkshake, which is one of the kids brands at Maya. Tessa, really unhelpful right now. These are gorgeous. I love them. I'm really excited to see how cute he's going to look in those. Something to wear, and then something to read. This is another one in the Bear series by Nick Bland. We have, I think, all of the others, unless I missed a couple that came out. We call Freddy Freddy Bear, and he's got plenty of these books in the years past, and I think by now he can actually read this book because he is doing well learning to read. So 2 Cranky Bears it is, and I think it's an interesting little story about cooperation, especially between Freddy and his brother. And then Lincoln. Lincoln is turning 3 in December, so he'll be 3 by the time Christmas comes around. So for his Something You Want, this is one of my favorite items of this Christmas haul. These are play stones, and again, if you saw my playroom video, you would have seen that we have some of these already in our mud kitchen. So these are a stone and resin mix. They're sort of carved and painted. This is the one called Breads of the World, and the brand is called Yellow Door. So in this kit we have 8 differently shaped breads, and because they're stone, they're completely weatherproof. So these will live outside in our mud kitchen and cubby house. Lincoln loves to play cooking, play shop, play house, everything out there. Anytime there's water play, it's right up his alley. So this one's got like a bagel, a croissant, pretzel, just to add to his play collection, and I know for a fact that he's going to absolutely adore that. So that was a success. These are relatively expensive. I think a set is normally about $80 for a box. I did get them on sale, so there's that. I think I bought this from the curated parcel here in Australia. Something you want for Lincoln, something you need, 5-pack of Target Max trunks for him. Not very exciting. Something to wear. He is, of course, matching his big brother in the same rust-colored chino shorts. He's going to look super cute. Very happy with that. And something to read. I Love You When You're Angry. Now, I just picked up, I did my books shopping on Amazon, as much as, you know, avoiding Amazon is also a good choice. I don't love how flimsy the cover is on this. I don't know how well it's going to hold up, especially because we are traveling with it. But being almost 3, Lincoln is certainly learning about managing emotions. So I love that this is a really cute book that we could potentially talk about, you know, the ups and downs of life with toddlers and the fact that, you know, love is unconditional. Oh, okay, and you, a Bubba. Okay, and then we come to the youngest of the bunch, Tessa. She is 14 months old. She doesn't have that much of an opinion about something she wants unless it's something that one of her siblings has. So her Something You Want is kind of more of a group present, and this, it doesn't look like much, but this is a Sarah's Silk giant silk in the desert color. Well, no, I'm wrong, earth. We have lots of Sarah's Silks. We have the giant rainbow play silk, and because it's been played with consistently for at least 5 years, it's like shredded. It is hanging in threads. So I thought that using the kind of want gift for Tessa is a good way to replace that without just going out and replacing something, and also gives me a way to say, you know, you need to be careful with that if you're playing with it, because it is Tessa's present and we need to make sure we're not destroying it. We'll see how that goes. So Something You Want, she's getting the Sarah's Silk Giant Play Silk. I did get this one on sale from Oscar's Wooden Ark. It was just this particular colorway that was on sale, so that's why I got that one. But the sort of orangey tones go well with our color scheme anyway. Something You Need, she's getting a new pair of sunglasses. No, there's no more. You ate them all. Yeah. I know, it's terrible. Cute little sunnies. She's grown out of her baby size ones. I did actually forget that I was going to give these to her for Christmas and already took them out and try them on, but you know, she doesn't notice. So Something You Need, she's getting some new sunnies. Something to Wear, she is getting the same Jamie K print as her sister, but in an adorable bodysuit. I really like that this one's got a good amount of sleeve coverage. I try not to buy too many sort of sleeveless items because the sun here is ferocious, and hopefully that's going to fit her for a while. I got the size 2, I hope. Yeah, because with cloth nappies, especially, the torso length tends to extend beyond a bit of a standard size, and I obviously don't want her to grow out of this too quickly, and she can always wear this with tights in winter as well. So something to wear from JBK, and then finally something to read. I really love the book, The Invisible String. So this is the board book, The Invisible String Lullaby, again about being here for your kids. So that's our want, need, wear read for the 4 kids. And then finally their share present. Their share present this year is a new bubble machine. We wore out our last bubble machine, and I didn't want to replace that one because the thing takes 10 batteries at a time. So this is a one that you are supposedly able to recharge. I don't know how good it's going to be. I bought this from Big W Marketplace. I haven't had too much of a look at it because it only arrived last night, but it comes with a rechargeable battery pack. If not, it doesn't look particularly kiddie. It's supposedly ones they use for functions and stuff, so I'm hoping that'll make it more heavy duty, but we shall see. Bubble machines are something that are loved by all our kids. We use them. You're not helping. Yeah, hey. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. It was, I think, about $50 for this bubble machine. So that is all of the gifts that our kids will be getting under the Christmas tree, if you will. And then we have some stocking stuffers. So again, we will keep our Santa sacks fairly simple. Some of these presents might find their way into the Santa sacks as well. So you'll be here, but don't tell the kids what they're getting for Christmas, okay? You say shh. Yeah. If there is a huge amount under the tree, and I don't really like the idea of them just tearing through presents, some of these other ones may go into the Santa sacks as well. So for stocking stuffers, Tessa's is probably the most different, and kind of using hers to bolster up things that the group will share with these bath fizzies. They love coloured baths. We've used the Honey Sticks brand before, and they've been great. This is a brand that I haven't tried. They're fragrance free. I'm just hoping they don't stain, and they've got 150 in the tub, which is why I bought them. So we use those in the bathtub and also for like potion making outside and stuff. She's also getting a new toothbrush and toothpaste. This is just the Jack and Jill brand that I typically use for her. And then she's getting her own set of markers. I really only buy the Crayola ultra washable markers because I just don't need to be dealing with anything else. And then Lincoln, who's 3, a new toothbrush. Again, a set of markers. These are ultra washable every time. A little drawing book. So the idea with this is that when they do open their sacks by themselves in their rooms on Christmas morning, they can kind of right away do something. So he's getting the little Olaf drawing book. I bought these in a set. I'll show you the others in a minute. It's just line pages to scribble in. And then puzzles. Puzzles are a big thing in our family. The kids love puzzles. They'll often like spread them all over the place into a puzzle floor. This has got 4-in-1 of the Gruffalo, which is a story he really loves. So that is Lincoln. We will also put a snack in the kids' Santa sacks as well. So my husband's family growing up, they would do a tube of Pringles in their Santa sacks, and we like to continue that. So they'll get like a mini set of Pringles, except for Tessa, who'll get like some puffs or another like yogurt drops or something that's like a baby snack. So that's Lincoln. Similarly, Freddy, his set of markers, he's getting the Pipsqueaks, and then he's got like a slightly bigger color range. He's got a drawing book as well. This is Anna, which is his kind of favorite Frozen character. A toothbrush in his color, which is blue. And then a puzzle, a 60-piece puzzle. I think he'd be pretty capable with that straight up, but it's got a nice amount of detail for him, so he should enjoy that. And then finally, our big girl, Violet. I don't think this is the toothbrush I'm actually going to get her. You right there? Need to get her another one that's pink, but I just pulled this out for illustrative purposes, which is really silly. She's got the Elsa book from the 3-book set. This was just a notepad set at Officeworks. I think it was about $5 or $6 for the 3. I got some last year that were just junk, but these look decent. She's got the Super Tips markers. She's got a pack of 20. They're that little bit finer. And then her puzzle, she's got a 200-piece Ravenburger with the Disney princesses and Disney characters and stuff. 200 pieces is probably not quite challenging enough. I think I probably should have gone a 300, but this will be fine. And then this will obviously with puzzles, it's the kind of thing that everybody grows into over time. So I think it's a good addition to our collection. So there you have it. That is our Christmas gifts for Christmas 2025 for kids age 1 through 6. You want that one? Yeah, you think you could do that one? Yeah, you didn't get a puzzle, sorry. Do you have any Christmas ideas or any questions about anything? You want any links? Or you just want my baby to stop interrupting videos? Leave it in the comments below and I'll see you next time. Bye. Yeah.